Hi Libra, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome back. Welcome to those of you who are new here. My name is Jackie. I do tarot readings on a weekly basis for all the signs. I mix tarot with astrology, numerology, and psychology. I do recommend checking out your rising sign first, then your sun sign, then your moon, and if you have time, check out your Venus placement as well. For those of you who do know your placements, remember these are general messages for your astrological archetype, not a personal reading. I'd have to know your personal birth placements to understand how the current transits are communicating with your individual energies for that. So we say, take what resonates, throw out the rest, guys. You know what you know. And if you like my energy, please consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. I do appreciate it. So let's pull some oracles to get us going here. Bust out of your cocoon. Admit your vulnerabilities. Look forward. Tell you in the pre-shuffle meditation, I was getting a lot of very, very specific messages. I feel like, we have this sun moving into Leo, excuse me, on the 22nd, and that's happening in your 11th house. So the 11th house, first of all, Mars is hanging out in there, and that's the house of, I feel like I'm going to cough again, excuse me, of groups, friends, social awareness, humanitarianism. It's really about other, right? But the 11th house is also about hopes and dreams and your wishes for the future, right? So we have this sun, which is about the focus. So this is the focus of your month in Leo, which is very much a me-based creative energy, right? The sun in Leo in the 11th house, guys, a lot of times friends become lovers in this energy. You can easily look at people who are in your work environment, people that you're associated with in your neighborhood, or that you work with in a little bit of a different light, right? That could certainly be going on. Now, across the wheel in the 5th house, we have this full moon happening in Aquarius, okay? So that's going to be happening on the 23rd, and it's going to be really, I feel like this full moon is going to be kicking off, definitely feeling the energies for the next month at least, right? I mean, so this full moon is happening when the sun in Leo forms this opposition to the moon in Aquarius. It's always a time of culmination and promise of fulfillment of something that started in the new moon, but it's always an emotional time of romance, fertilization, relationships. So I feel like there's a lot of relationship stuff going on with you, Virgo. I'm feeling like that. But let's just talk about real quick with this full moon in Aquarius. It's an interesting placement right now because it's sort of sandwiched between Pluto in your 4th house of home, roots, family, self-care, emotions, foundation, the idea of children, being a mother, your mother, okay, whatever it is. So Pluto's there, right, which is all about change, transformation. So some sort of transformation going on within the home, about the home, or having to do with you being able to feel safe and secure, right? And then we have the full moon in Aquarius sitting right in the middle, which is this very emotional energy that's focused on the future. And then right next to that is Saturn. And that's happening in the 5th house of romance, love affairs, play, creativity, fertility, childlike spirit, children as well. 4th and 5th house have to do with like mothering, and then 5th house is children, right? So it's also about self-expression and drama, that 5th house. So we have a lot of heavy energy going on for you between either your home or your ability to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure, and that 5th house of romance, love affairs, the idea of children. So that's what's happening right there. Now, also, the fact that you have Saturn hanging out in that 5th, some of you might be dealing with a relationship with either an older person, dealing with a relationship that you've been in for quite a while. This could have to do with some sort of restriction or delay having to do with a creative endeavor that you're trying to take on. You might be having a hard time getting pregnant. So there can be this element of delay, right? Because Saturn is about Chronos, right? He's about time and no and restriction and responsibility first, and then you get the gift, right? That kind of thing. So the fact that that's the placement of the full moon in Aquarius. Is Aquarius, that's the thing. I mean, we're talking about that being sandwiched between Pluto, which is about transformation, and Saturn about responsibility. And the full moon in Aquarius is this focus on that you want to do something different for your future. You want new. You want something fresh. You want to bust out. That's that kind of energy. So it does seem like this is an energy for you, Libra, where you're going to be needing to tie up a lot of loose ends. There's going to need to be some redressing of stuff going on. Now, a lot of you who may be in a space of having a hard time in a marriage or in a business partnership, the seventh house has to do with relationships, marriage, contracts, business partners, sharing, anything where they're sharing. There is Chiron is retrograde in Aries in there. So between now and December, like the third week in December, there's going to be a lot of healing in that space when it comes to any of those things. So for some of you, this can be healing from a broken marriage or trying to heal a marriage. It does depend on kind of where you're at in the situation and in your particular life. But we also have Venus and Virgo kicking off this week. The Venus and Virgo energy is going from July 21st to August 16th, and that's happening in your 12th house of the subconscious. So honestly, like, that's the house of the hidden, the house of the unknown, and you're going to be feeling a whole lot of stuff in that energy. There is no question in my mind. You guys are cardinal energy. I feel like the cardinal energies that have this, if you know your placement, if it's anywhere between like 27 and 30 degrees, you're going to be feeling this the strongest. But I feel like on a subconscious level, the Venus and Virgo energy, first of all, what is the 12th house? It's endings, it's healings, it's closure, it's spirituality, it's solitude, it's karma, it's old age. It's elderly in your life. It's the idea of growing old. It's this being very aware of the clock ticking, thinking about the afterlife. Is this all that there is? Figuring out the hidden in what it is that you're feeling about a person, a situation, a job, whatever it is. Limiting beliefs really being a focus here for you, and just the subconscious, right? You're feeling a lot with Venus and Virgo. There is a lot, right? There's this desire to express, and there's this desire to take care of yourself, but there's this challenge where, and this is not necessarily a bad thing, it's like asking these larger existential questions where, is the relationship that I'm in, does it make sense and have purpose? Is how I'm showing myself self-love and self-respect making sense in my life right now? And is it serving my higher good? How am I making money and spending money? Does any of this make sense in my life right now? Venus and Virgo is really about focusing on that, being kind to yourself. There's also going to be this very visceral call to show affection for others, as well as yourself, through being of service. So you're going to be trying to figure things out in this way. How could you make something work? And is it working in your life? Because if it's not right now, you know that something's going to need to be released, right? There's going to need to be some sort of releasing of something. Now, particularly because you have the nodal axis, the North Node in Gemini in your 9th house, and in the third house you have the South Node in Sagittarius. That third house, there's going to be some sort of release, some sort of sacrifice, where it comes to either where it is that you're living, something to do with siblings, something to do with your thinking, something to do with somebody that you're communicating with and that you're engaging with. There may need to be a release there. So I want to just get straight to a very specific message that somebody out there needs to hear. If you're in a marriage and you're cheating, or you're in a relationship and you are at least entertaining another energy on the side, maybe you didn't cheat yet, maybe you're thinking about it, there's going to be a huge pivotal energy where you need to see if whatever it is that you're engaging in, if it makes sense. And if this energy has the wherewithal to go forward with you. Are they somebody that you could see for sure you working it out moving forward? If not, you need to release them and then focus on your marriage. Because Chiron retrograde in Aries in your 7th house of marriage, again, is about healing, but looking at all of the negative past cycles, all of the past hurts, looking at everything and recognizing where there's been a lot of unfairness, where what's not working, you know, whatever it is. But that needs to be addressed. Now, whether your marriage makes it past that, or you guys decide to go your own ways, but if you're in a situation where you're sort of like confused, okay, if you're confused and you're in the space where you're just really not sure of your approach to something, of how you feel about something, you're just not sure, right? Then this can happen. I feel like a lot of you are going to be feeling this, right? Because this is on your relationship axis. Libra, you're on the first house, and the axis is the first house, seventh house. Seventh house is this Chiron retrograde Aries. So either you guys are going to be going back and saying, that's it, this is not working, we have to work on dissolving this, or we have to work on fixing it. But what can happen is it can't stay like this. Now, I also want to say, those of you who are in a business partnership, kind of the same deal. You know, where it's like if some sort of contractual agreement isn't working and you know it hasn't been working, that in between, that like purgatory stuff is not going to fly anymore. It's just not going to fly. The in-between stuff, what are you doing? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? The in-between stuff, it's just not going to end up rolling out in a healthy way for you. So I just want to be super, super straight there, right? Because this is... I don't want to get too deep into the astrology and make it about that, because I want to get to the cards. But I just feel like somebody did need to hear that. Now, I know that's a very specific message. I'm going to be giving more general energies as we go along, like the fact that there is going to be some sort of shocking something. Uranus and Taurus in your 8th house, which is where you merge with other, sex, intimacy, shared finances, inheritance, taxes, some sort of joint venture, some sort of goal, or even something having to do with your partner's resources. So your partner might get some sort of windfall, or there could be something surprising coming in that you weren't expecting, as like a bill or something like that, that your partner's getting. Or you also might find out that you're getting some sort of inheritance, or some sort of somebody you're sharing finances with, either you or your partner. So that could be a nice manifestation of that, right? But we have bust out of your cocoon. We have that being clarified by the Justice energy, which is you. This is the 7th house of marriage, self-sabotage, time to clean it up. I mean, Libra, I hadn't even looked at these cards yet, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So starting out, bust out of your cocoon, right? You're feeling very restricted right now because it seems like you're in this space of you're not here and you're not there. Some of you may be in this sort of, like maybe you're dealing with an unhappy relationship or an unhappy business connection, an unhappy something, and in order to make yourself feel better, you know, I hate to say cheating, whatever, but maybe you are, maybe you're entertaining another energy, or you're just communicating with somebody online, or maybe you're just doing something else, right, to just sort of busy yourself. But we have bust out of your cocoon, and we have this clarified by Justice, which is the 7th house of marriage. You really need to get honest with yourself and ask yourself, are your emotional needs being met? And whatever it is that you're in, and do you feel like things are equitable? Is there fairness in whatever it is that you're in that business situation, in that marriage, in that deep soul-connected relationship? You don't even really have to be married. We say it's the house of contracts. We have soul contracts too, right? Whatever it is, busting out of your cocoon, right, to look at this stuff, because some sort of self-sabotaging behavior is going on. If you stay in something that's not working and you're trying to fit a circle in a square, guys, that is self-sabotaging behavior. That's not having respect for yourself. Now, that's not to say if you're in an unhealthy situation and you can't leave right away, because you would end up biting your nose off to spite your face, you have to get your ducks in a row. That's different. But it's like if you're trying to play this sort of mental gymnastics with yourself, where you're trying to talk yourself into, oh, this isn't so bad, you know, this will be okay, this is all right. You know if it's a workable thing, and you know if it just doesn't feel right anymore. And I feel like you're going to know. Whatever it is, though, I feel like you're in a bit of a messy situation that needs to be cleaned up. But remember something, you can only clean up your side of the street. You can't be cleaning up anybody else's side of the street. You know what I mean? That's their job. That's their job. And if they don't see the junk in their street, they're not going to be able to see it even if you point it out. So this is really about seeing what you can clean up, right? What you can mend. Because I have to tell you, Scorpio transiting your second house. Second house is important because it's money, but it's not only about money and work and income. It's about daily routines and things that matter to you. Things that matter to you. Your material possessions, your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-concept, your habits, your priorities. That's second house. Scorpio's sitting in your second house right now. So there's some sort of transformation that's going on here, having to do with your value system, having to do with money. Just there's change here. There's change going on here for sure. So you can sit and act like it's not really happening, or you could be a little more proactive. Forgive me for being forward. It's just this message is so unbelievably clear to me that getting your ducks in a row, I don't care what situation it's in. If it has to do with some sort of situation regarding a business venture, a marriage, a relationship, whatever it is, okay? Now we have admit your vulnerabilities, and that's being clarified by King of Water. So King of Water is this need that exists to settle a conflict either within yourself or with somebody else, but you might be really unclear how to handle it. And I feel like whatever it is that needs transforming here, whatever it is, you're not really sure how to approach it. You're just not sure. And some of you might not even want to settle the conflict, which is what I'm getting for some of you. Selling out. Guys, the selling out is really about self-sabotage. So we have self-sabotage working with selling out. Okay, listen, some of you may be kind of in this situation where if there's some sort of something going on outside of a situation, let's just leave it at that. How do I want to put this? And I'm not even trying to be more cautious with my words. I'm just trying to put together, I'm trying to string together what I'm getting all at once. See, it's like if you continue to tolerate whatever's going on, even within yourself, you're going to be selling yourself short, and you're going to end up being sorry for it down the road. So where is now I'm gonna reference a second here. Where are you obsessing? Where is there a lot of rumination? You really have to sit down and look at that. And you have to stop the cycle of whatever it is, this round and round. Something has to stop. It's like literally my energy feels dizzy right now. I'm not even kidding. All right, let's see what else. We have to look forward. This is good. Okay, good. Looking forward. Woohoo, yes. This is what you have to focus on right now. Looking forward. Anyway, looking forward, that's that 11th house. That's where the sun in Leo is. That's where your focus is going to be. That's where your focus needs to be. And that Mars is in there. Mars is that warrior energy. Mars is the emperor, rules Aries, fresh path, new perspective. Come on, let's go. Let's do things differently moving forward. But guess what else that is? It's not thinking so much only about yourself, right? It's also about thinking about other people as well. Not to say that you're in a space of being self-centered. I'm not saying that at all. You have to think about yourself as well right now too. But whatever's going on, it's like you have to think about what's good for the situation at large, right? For everybody involved. So we have the sun. Again, this is where the sun is. The sun is in this 11th house. But the sun is really good because what this tells me is you're going to be very able to do whatever it is you need to do. The sun puts all the tools in our toolbox that we need to manifest something, that we need to work something out, right? In numerology, this is connected with the Wheel of Fortune energy, which is the Jupiter energy. It's about expansion. It's about recognizing that you've reached a turning point. Something very fated is going on here. You need to take a chance in a certain way, right? And this is about really looking back at the past and saying, okay, am I ready to release that? Am I ready to release that thing? Or do I need to really look at it a little more closely? Because some of you are going to be in this space, first of all, of maybe realizing that you want to revisit a relationship from the past. Some of you may be realizing that something that in the recent past hasn't been working out so well. You want to go back to that and try to work on it. Others of you, it has nothing to do, and same thing with a friendship as well. Others of you, if it has nothing to do with that, this could be really good news coming in. Having to do with your career or money, a success in a position through which you can make more money shows up, and you getting some sort of deserved acknowledgement, which is really, really nice. It's like you have everything that you need to move something forward. So the sun is very, very positive in several ways for you, but it's going to require you looking forward with clear eye, no rose-colored glasses, nothing like that, staying grounded in reality. Everything has to make sense in your life right now. That relationship, that business situation, that family connection, what doesn't make sense, that's really needs to be reevaluated here. Unleash your creativity. Beautiful 5th house energy. I like it. Some of you are going to be in the space where you're going to realize, hey, you know what? Maybe I want to have a baby. By the way, very fertile energy right now for everyone. It's careful. Just saying, if you're not in that space. Unleashing your creativity, right? Creativity is 5th house. 5th house has to do with children, for those of you in that space. Entrepreneurial efforts, excellent for that. Thinking of the future, putting it out there, saying, you know what, if this relationship hasn't worked out and I've been trying to fit a circle in a square with this relationship, I have to go and speak to this individual. We have to sit down and have a grown-up conversation, and then I have to consider how I might be able to open myself up to a healthy energy moving forward. Healthy. Be patient though. You have Saturn sitting in that house for the next couple of years, okay? So while that sounds like, oh, gee, awesome, great, it doesn't mean you can't date. Some of you, again, you might be dealing with somebody much older than you, somebody that you've known for a very long time, and, you know, maybe connecting with them. That's very aspected here. Others of you, might just be in this space of dating, but whatever it is, if it has to do with relationship, lots of creativity going on here. So that could again have to do with launching a product, launching a business, falling in love affair kind of thing, having a child, anything like that. And then we have building blocks. So building blocks is good because this is a very practical energy. It's like first you have to do this, then that, then that. So if something's not working, you have to address that thing that's not working. Take care of that, clean that thing up, then go to the next space. And what I've been saying in a lot of the videos this week is the 5-25 rule. Some of you probably have heard of this. Maybe you learned, it's as old as dirt, I feel like, this thing. Or maybe it's because, you know, I learned it so many years ago, where it's, you're making a list of 25 things that you want to accomplish. And that could be as minute as needing to make this this phone call that's been just bothering you, to maybe you saying, I want to look into getting more training in a particular area, researching what do I need in order to become fill in the blank, needing to address certain things within yourself, within a relationship, whatever it is, making a list of 25 things. And then taking only those first 5 things by themselves, forget the rest of the list, 1 through 19. And you're only dealing with 20 through 25 right now in that list. And once you complete that list, that part of the list, then you do the next 5 things, right? This helps avoid becoming overwhelmed. Because Libra, I feel like you have a lot going on in different areas of your life. There's relationship stuff going on, there's family stuff going on, there's career stuff going on. It can be very overwhelming. And then what happens here, when you get overwhelmed, you can be easily pulled into your shadow manifestation, which is all of a sudden that analysis paralysis that we talk about all the time. So you get nowhere fast, right? And or you end up saying, the hell with all of it, I hate confrontation, I'm just going to stay in this. But that's not the right thing either, right? So something needs addressing, something needs to be planned. So make that list, work with 5 things at a time. You do that first 5 things, go to the next 5 things. Boom, boom, boom. That is the building block energy. Okay, my friends, that's what I have for that part of the reading. So I'm going to go into relationship next, and then I'll go into the Celtic cross spread, and we'll see what comes up. So let's just do a 7-card ellipse for relationship, and then I'm going to timestamp below like I always do. Double reverse, Queen of Wands, the Magician, Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Hangman, Two of Pentacles. No. Libra. You know what? This is only for a week, 16th to the 23rd, but I still see some confusion. But we have you dealing with some very imbalanced energy right in the past. Yeah. I mean, the devil is imbalanced. Way more positive in the reverse, for sure. Way more positive. Restrictions are dealt with more easily. It becomes clear that a situation might not be actually as bad as you thought. And this can be just coming into this energy, okay, having to do with a relationship. So maybe you're realizing now, you know, with this clarity, with these rose-colored glasses, the red flags out of the way, all of this stuff. I just feel like a lot of you are very grounded right now. Like you've been feeling a lot more grounded the past week or two. Not saying you're not confused, not saying that at all. But it's like there's a lot more clarity in a situation, right? So, and I feel like with this devil reverse energy though, it's being very, very honest with yourself about healing from something, getting past something, leaving an abusive situation, focusing on having, sounds silly, but I'm being called like fun and sexy times ahead. Just wanting to be happy. And anything that feels, it's almost like that, like I'm almost getting like it was like the tower reverse where it's like, thank goodness, like bullet dodged, you know, the hard part is over now, that kind of thing. For some of you, for others of you, it's this recognition that a situation that you were entrenched in that you thought was really, really bad, you might be realizing, again, is not quite as bad as you thought. Now, that doesn't mean to say that the energy that you're dealing with, if you're dealing with an energy at all, is on board with you 100%. Because remember, the devil in numerology is the lovers, and the lovers card, and the lovers card is all about choice and needing to make a decision if you're both going to work equally at something. And so with this in reverse, I feel like maybe you felt like you were involved in something in the relationship where your partner was not putting in the same amount of effort as you, where you were showing up a lot more. But right now, you are the Queen of Wands, and you're ready to step into your power. I feel this so strongly. Pisces and Aries energy, this is being able to make things happen, and your relationships feeling energized as a result, no matter what. It's like not even a good thing, a bad thing. It's something needs addressing, and this is a good thing. Now, in the near future, very positive Magician energy. This is straight up Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. So this is about having that conversation that's really, really important. Communication going really well. Any issues or problems can be resolved through a deeper understanding of each other's needs here. This is nice. This is being able to crystallize something and manifest something that you've been trying to do, but it's only through the alchemy of the energy. And what I mean by that is there have to be good, productive discussions about the stuff that really matters. Not the weather, not what you guys are going to do this weekend. No, the stuff that's like the thing. You have to discuss the elephant in the room, you know, but it's going to go well. This is going to end up going well. It does seem like action, action, action. Mercury, all about action. So then we have the advice here, Page of Pentacles, and Page always incites a new cycle. Right? And Pentacles is not only money, it's mental, physical, and emotional connection. Now, there might be an issue within your relationship where is somebody unemployed? Maybe somebody gets a job. And that's really what needs to happen, right? For some of you, that could be it. For others of you, this could be, the advice would be to be very hardworking, very reliable, very dependable in order for the relationship to be successful, right? Focusing on what needs attention, right? focusing on money within the connection, focusing on communication, on intimacy. These things don't just happen on their own, right? We need to work on them in relationship. And it's really hard to want to even do that stuff when you don't feel very connected to somebody. So it's like this new cycle needs to start. And that's the advice here, right? You need to have some sort of new start. Again, one way or the other, depending on where you're at. None of you are going to have the same experience. Oh, well, some of you will be, but right, it would be ridiculous to say that all Libras are ending a marriage or all Libras are working something out. It totally depends on what else is aspecting. But there is a new cycle that needs to happen here. Now, clarifying that as external, as other, we have the Page of Cups. So, Libra, I feel like somebody really wants to work something out with you. How you feel about that is not the conversation here. This is about somebody sort of spilling their emotions to you, coming in and wanting something. Now, for some of you, this could indicate a new partner coming in and expressing how they feel. This could be a current partner expressing how they feel. Being straight with you, this could be two people expressing how they feel. And the reason I'm saying that is because we have in your block the Hangman, and it's just like, oh my gosh, pause. I need to process, right? That's kind of like, because this is Neptune. This is confusing. You're very confused right now. Now, some of you may be in the space, because this is your block. This is your block. So some of you, like, the thought process could go something like this. If I stay in this, what is the potential of me sacrificing what it is that I really want, need, and desire? And if I go in that, I have to ask myself the same question. What am I going to be sacrificing there? Am I going to end up martyring what I want in any of these situations right now? I don't know. For some of you, you might be speaking with somebody, right? Where you were in the devil reverse energy, right? Things getting better for you. You connecting with somebody, saying, hey, let's go for a drink, let's go out, if this is like a newer energy, and you're just not being sure if they feel the same way about you as you do about them, or them being in a space of waiting on you, right? But there can be this like lack of feeling very sure about a commitment. It's like, how do you feel? I'm not sure. I don't know. Let me just hang upside down for a while until some wisdom hits me in the head, right? I mean, that kind of is the Hangman energy. It's trying to give a little breathing room, hoping that, life, as life rolls out, something will reveal itself, right? But what's tricky about Neptune's a tricky energy. It's very smoke and mirrors. It's very, what can seem to be one way is really like another. And it also rules the 12th house, which is the house of self-sabotaging behavior. And where we can, it's also the house of the hidden. So it's like our ability to hide in things, right? It's about escapism. This is the energy of escapism. And this is your block right now. So some of you may be in this space where it's like, I don't want to think about this right now, so I'm going to go have a cocktail. Or I don't want to think about this right now, so I'm going to do A, B, and C. Or some of you escaping into something outside of the relationship. And that is ending up being a block for you. Or you might be dealing with this energy showing up as your partner doing this. But I feel like there are more than two people involved in this, if that makes sense. And we have the Two of Pentacles energy showing up here. So the Two of Pentacles is just the space of negotiation. What am I going to do? All right, I need to make a decision. Do I do this? Do I do that? And it's like you feeling the sense of lack in one of these choices in one area, and then a sense of lack in a different area on that, on that path. So it's like you're not sure, sitting there, and you're like, I know I have to decide which pentacle I'm going to put down, but I don't know what to do. I don't know which path to take. We have the Eight of Swords in reverse. This is about release, new hope, escaping from something that you felt very trapped in, and you allowing yourself to feel a sense of freedom. And we have the Eight of Wands. This is great news about love, my friends, especially if you've been separated Really nice energy there. We have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse, which is about a poverty mindset, feeling very, very vulnerable. There's got to be some conversation, though, about this as well. There's got to be conversation about that, because it's more of a mentality, of a mindset, rather than anything in reality. But I feel like that's that could be involved in this. If it doesn't have to do with money, it has to do with connection. So it can show up in several ways, and both things might be a situation where there's this poverty mindset when it comes to money, but a poverty mindset when it comes to connection, to intimacy, to how well you feel like you're well partnered, right? You might feel this sort of like hunger. You know, I always use this saying, been using it for years. My husband hates it. It's so funny. But flowers bloom in the sunshine, right? Do they not? They gravitate towards the sunshine, and they wilt and die in the shade. So, you know, you it doesn't matter how big the pot is that you're in. It doesn't matter how big the room, whatever. The whole thing is we grow and we feel enriched when we're surrounded by warmth and love and connection, right? And somebody who's illustrating that for us, right? But we tend to wilt and feel empty and vacant when we feel starved in that area, when we feel discounted, right? So that's the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Now we have the Seven of Wands in reverse, which is about weak boundaries and quitting and just giving up on something and plans stalling. And then we have the Knight of Cups energy. So the Knight of Cups, this is in reverse. So this is somebody who might be struggling with a lot of mood swings and very unrealistic expectations going on. We have the Five of Pentacles. So this is definitely a testing of resources, financial issues. But again, it could be speaking to this sense of lack as well. Wherever you see pentacles, you could also say mental, physical, emotional connection. But there is this energy that you need to consider some sort of new option that's going to help you see your way forward. This is a very psychological card, okay? Very psychological. Ten of Cups. Four of Cups in reverse. A new outlook or direction, some sort of new option, so that you can be happy, so that you can have that family that you want, so that you can have the contentment, the benefits of security, that partnership, that friendship, that communication, that romance that it is that you want in relationship. So however this is going to manifest, somebody is being released, somebody is it's being worked on with somebody else. So I'm just getting very clearly, some of you, if you're dealing with two energies, you might say adios to both people. Some of you may choose one. Some of you are going to be working it out with one and needing to end things with another. This is such a clear message, and I almost feel like I need to apologize for that, because if it's not your message, I'm sorry. We'll get you next time. I try to stay general, but when the messages are that loud, it's like I literally can't ignore it. So if you didn't resonate with that, maybe we'll get you next time. Okay. So let's do a Celtic cross spread for career, money, more relationship. Maybe we'll get more answers here for sure. Family connections, anything like that. Okay, we get the Devil energy. Not the Devil, get the High Priestess. So there's a lot on your mind right now that you're really not talking about with that High Priestess energy. Might be keeping some secrets. All right, coming into this energy, High Priestess. I mean, yeah, you're trying to follow your wisdom, trying to listen to your intuition, but guys, listen, keeping it real. This is a moon energy, and the moon rules our emotions, and we can't count on our emotions, right? The moon changes every 2 to 2.5 days, not every day and a half to 2.5 days, right? We know our emotions change. So our emotions aren't always like the best barometer for what's going on. So what I feel, though, is that you're very connected to your emotions for sure, but it's like you feel one way one minute, you might be changing your mind the next, but I don't feel like you're really talking to anyone in a full-blown honest way about what it is that you're feeling right now. or what it is that you're experiencing. So we have the Ace of Coins in reverse, right? The Ace of Pentacles here. So this is about stressing about money, going into debt, dealing with somebody who's greedy. This could also be, no, I'm not getting it any other way. Keeping it real, I'm just not. I'm not even connecting this to, it's like you like the idea of just say like mental, physical, emotional connection. The only thing I will say is that the idea of starting something fresh, a new business, a new venture, out of a relationship, moving out, moving into a next stage, whatever that means, you being very concerned about money and not feeling supported right now. Not in that space where you feel very supported. And what is your challenge? Your challenge is the Hermit reverse. Now, the Hermit upright would be good because that's Virgo figuring out a problem. But in the reverse, psychologically, you feel alone and unsupported right now. And you might even feel a little lost. But this might be because you don't want to ask for help with a situation. And this can also manifest as feeling victimized or martyred because you're having a hard time moving on from a situation that you intuitively know is not very good for you. And if you're in a space where you feel cut off from friends, you need to think about this. Right? This may be a message that it's time to rely on your own guidance. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, reach out to people who love you, and get the help that you're really in this space of needing right now. So then we have this working with the Three of Cups energy, right? Now the Three of Cups is the present, and this is the basis for the situation. So there's some sort of shackling situation that's going on. The devil can have anything to do with any sort of difficult relationship, controlling partner, an affair, codependent patterns, any sort of addictions, narcissistic tendencies, anything like that, anxiety and depression unchecked, untreated, anything like that. That's an energy that makes us feel shackled, right? Now, this is associated in numerology with the Lover's energies I mentioned in the last spread. So it's the space where it's like, okay, what are we doing? Are we going to work this out or are we not? Because it can't be ignored anymore. It can't be ignored. Now, for some of you, if this has to do with, well, let's keep within the realm of relationship. First, if you're separated, right, this indicates like financial dependence or other ongoing money or property issues that keep you tied to the past in some way. It's going to resonate with some of you. If this has to do with career or money, you're experiencing some sort of unfair, maybe contract, or there's something very unsatisfying about your career. You might have a very domineering boss. You might have very toxic coworkers, anything like that, right? But you can't leave because you feel financially trapped, But it's like this idea of this domineering sort of situation. So I feel like a lot of you just want to bust out and just do your own thing, but you can't right now. That could be your relationship might be awesome, but this could have to do with a job. Or this could have to do with really needing to figure your way out of a family situation, anything like that. Because the devil can show up in any part of our life, right? The devil energy. You might be dealing with a Capricorn as well. That's the devil. But the present situation's the Three of Cups. So I feel like even though you have this as the basis of the energies right now, you do have a circle of support, and I feel like it's a bigger circle of support than you even realize, right? But this is about emotional and physical healing. This is a really good energy for a new relationship. This is a really good energy to create a business in, because 3 is the number of creation, right? And I feel like if you can focus on creating something that you love to do, Libra, that you're good at, and you can figure out a way of setting it up so that it could become something that makes you money. If you pay your due diligence, if you put in the hard work and the effort, it's going to be fantastic, because Saturn is sitting in that 5th house for you. Saturn's a good energy to have, believe it or not, when it comes to certain things, we want Saturn energy when it comes to like marriage, because you might be going through challenge, but you want it to, it will last, right? So we like Saturn in the 7th, right? This is in your 5th though. So apply the same idea though to any sort of creative endeavor that you might be taking on. So very nice energy for creation. I do like that. And that's sort of where you're at. You're in the space where you want to create. You want more for yourself, whether that's more in relationship, more having to do with this family connection. You want to start a new career, venture on a different path. You might even want to stay in the career you're in, but just maybe do it a little differently. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be so dramatic. But we have the Page of Cups that needs to be looked at. This is the suggested approach. So the Page of Cups in the reverse is about the idea of immaturity. This is an energy of breakup, of dependence, breaking up a business, breaking up a relationship. But it's this idea of dependence as well. And that can be an element of immaturity. So there needs to be something looked at in that area. For you, Libra. Now, I'm not suggesting that you're the one who's immature. This is like, you might be, the energies are saying like, pay attention to the idea of immaturity, the idea of dependence, the idea of something being dissolved right now, whether it's coming from you, from them, a little bit of both of you, it doesn't even really matter, having to do with that. And when I say breakup, that we could actually have that same energy exist within our family as well, where it's like, okay, I need to love you from a distance. I need to love you I can't, that kind of thing. So we have in the external energy, external to you and also other is Empress. And Empress is the mother of the tarot. This is the external energy surrounding you right now. So a lot of you might be in the space of really wanting to have a child, thinking about building a future, thinking about growing in the relationship, and feeling very confused about what the right situation is for you to move forward in, if this is all going to happen for you. So for example, this is a very basic example, like let's say you're in a marriage but it's not working, but you're in the space where you feel like, oh, I'm not getting any younger, I really want to have a family, I want to have a baby, I want to, and saying like, all right, maybe I'll just sort of deal with whatever so that I can have this family that I want. You want to think about that, particularly if you're dealing with an immature energy who doesn't handle things well, right? So just something to think about. That's only going to be for some of you. Others of you might be realizing you really want to go into business with somebody, or you're dealing with a business partner who's rather immature, and you're really focused on growing your business. It's like, come on. Are you going to get on board? What's going on, right? So for some of you, it can be that way. For others of you, the energy external to you may be the one really wanting to have a child, wanting to grow, wanting to do all of that, but you're not 100% on board with that. You may not be, that's just another, you not being as willing as you would maybe like to be. It's almost like you can't help it, right? I mean, what it is that you're feeling, you're having a really hard time right now figuring out how it is that you feel. It's truly, it's very difficult for you right now. Venus in Virgo is not an easy energy to have in the 12th house, because it's like you're you know that you want what's best for you, but it's very hard to see it in the 12th house because it's the house of the hidden, So we have it in the block here, the Tower reverse. So the Tower reverse is, it's several things, but this could be you holding on to something here. This project, a career, a relationship, a family connection, something like this, that's just not strong enough to stand the test of time. And if you're clinging to the past or to what's been to protect yourself from the reality of something, that's not going to help the situation materialize. It's probably going to do the opposite of that. So, because it does seem like the ending of something is inevitable here. But don't feel responsible for forces outside of your control, right? It's kind of like something is happening just as it's meant to happen. Everything is happening exactly as it's meant to happen, but that's blocking you. You might even be blaming yourself right now, taking responsibility, even if you're not to blame. Maybe you are, maybe you're not, but you're certainly not to blame for everything, for goodness sake. I mean, you know? Yeah. We have the Six of Cups in the near future in the reverse. So this is living in the past. This is unrealistic expectations. And this can even indicate someone being very naive about things, right? Somebody being very naive about things. But then we have the King of Swords. I like this. I mean, just because of the other stuff that we have going on here. The King of Swords it's an ambitious energy. It's relying on logic. It's outwardly calm, not allowing emotions to jump into the whole mix, at least in a very, very like powerful way. Ace of Cups is going to be happening, a new beginning. Oh, we have some narcissistic tendencies shaken out here. Emperor reverse. Nope. Power hungry. Narcissistic tendencies. Domineering. This energy will say or do anything to get their own way. This is somebody who crosses boundaries. There's a lot of egotism here. Queen of Coins in the reverse. Somebody is greedy. Somebody is financially dependent. We have the Star reverse. Interesting here. This is like giving up too easily on something. Feeling very blocked. Being attached to the fantasy of something while overlooking the reality of the situation. Or you might even feel pulled into a false sense of security in something that really has no foundation. You know, I think intuitively it doesn't have much chance of success. You know, and you're feeling very kind of alone in something here as well. Seven of Coins in the reverse as well. Giving up too soon. Not putting the work in. Somebody is not putting the work into something. There's going to be some disappointment here with this energy. We have the Eight of Swords in reverse, which I like it way better here because this is about release, new hope, escape, feeling free from a situation. And then we have the Seven of Coins in the reverse. So you can believe all these reverse. Seven of Coins in the reverse. I'm sorry, that's Eight of Coins in reverse. So the Eight of Coins in reverse is about feeling scattered, lack of focus. Not being sure where you're going, not being sure of what it is that you're doing exactly, but looking for that needle in a haystack, for something to be perfect. This idea of perfectionism. It's like you're scattered, but yet you're looking for something to pop out as perfect. Very confusing energy right now, not gonna lie. I feel like that. So there's, when it comes to your work, you have Neptune and Jupiter retrograde in Pisces in that 6th house. So that could be a little trippy. A lot of very confusing, not sure where you're expanding into, just not sure of what's going on in your day-to-day life, your day-to-day work environment. There might even be a lot of confusion regarding your pets. Especially if there's conversation of moving in, moving out, because 6th house is pets, and we have that Neptune and Jupiter retrograde energy in there for sure. Yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of changes in home. There's a lot of not being sure what's fair, what's not. So some confusion. I keep saying that, I'm sorry. Anyway, my friends, look. It's not going to stay like this. I promise you it's not. This is this week. But it's like one step closer to where it is that you need to go. Remember, though, seriously, say to yourself, does this make sense to me in my life? Is this good for me? You may still be confused, but you have to, if you have to, Libra, write it down. Write down, how is this going to serve me? Pros and cons of that relationship, that marriage, that family connection, that business situation, that money opportunity. Pros and cons. That's what I have for you for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with me. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.